Welcome to SHA, the Sound Healers Association, founded by Jonathan Goldman in 1982, bringing education and awareness of the use of sound and music for healing and transformation. SHA features presentations by founding pioneers in the modern sound healing field, and we have a sound healing directory allowing you to list your work or find practitioners and teachers. There's a monthly online meeting, a blog, a vast resource of articles, and much more. SHA, the Sound Healers Association, is dedicated to bringing harmony to the world of sound.
Okay, here we go, and we're jumping in now. And again, I'm Steve Farrell with Humanities Team. I'm here in Boulder, Colorado. I live near my dear friend Jonathan Goldman and his wife Andi, and it's my pleasure to be here just to introduce Jonathan and Andi as this program starts. So, and of course, this is a Sound Satsang, and it's a monthly program now that Humanities Team is really grateful to be producing each and every month with Jonathan and Andi. So thanks for being with us. I think you're going to have a fantastic time. Let me just want to read a brief introduction here as we get started. So Jonathan and Andi Goldman are a powerful pair in the world of conscious living and sound healing. Jonathan is an internationally recognized authority, pioneer, and author in sound healing. Andi is a licensed psychotherapist who utilizes holistic treatment and sound healing. Both are highly respected leaders in the sound healing and spiritual music community. Andi and Jonathan have co-written 2 books together, Chakra Frequencies and The Humming Effect. And again, I'll just share, when we came out a moment ago, Jonathan and I were sharing that sound healing is really taking off as it should, because it is, as we're creating conscious living in the world, sound healing is a big role. It's an incredibly useful device. And you're looking at the man here, Jonathan Goldman, who got this whole thing started, he was called to it at an early age, and hooray, thank God he was, because look where sound healing is today. And my pleasure, Jonathan, to turn this over to you.
What a blessing. Thank you, Steve, and thank you everyone who's here. I am Jonathan Goldman, and happy Vernal Equinox.
Hi, and I'm Andi Goldman, and we want to welcome everyone tonight to our Sound Satsang, and a special thank you, of course, to Humanities Team. And Steve, thank you for that beautiful introduction, and Garth, the man behind the curtain, and of course, the Sound Healers Association, and our managing director, Nasiri Suzanne, and our Healing Sounds team, Alec Sims. So we are grateful to all of you. It takes a village to put something like this on. And we're glad everyone is here, and happy equinox. And let me give a little overview of what we're going to be covering tonight.
Great.
Our major focus tonight is going to be the topic of conscious humming. We're going to talk a lot about humming as a healing modality, and also we'll be guiding you through a exercise where everyone is going to get to experience for themselves how powerful humming can be. We will have a brief astrological assessment, and we will have our global guided meditation as well, and questions at the end. Hopefully we have time for that. So without further ado, Jonathan, conscious humming, you go.
Conscious humming. So the first question is, what is a satsang? For those of you who may be just joining us for the first time, a satsang is a Sanskrit term, and it literally means many things. It means discourse, dialogue, teaching, community. And since we are indeed a community, this is actually our 9th get together, so to speak, online that deals and focuses with sound. And we're dealing with the subject of conscious humming, which for us is has become perhaps one of the more important sounds. We've been in the field, well, combined, I don't know how many years,
Well,
but
Jonathan, you have been in the field for over 40 years, and you are a founding pioneer in the field. So you've worked with a myriad of sounds and mantras and sound exercises. And of course, and I've been in the field for going on 30 years. So we have really run the gamut of sounds.
tons of sounds, and we love them. Tuning forks, crystal bowls, bells, harmonics, all this stuff, tones. It's just, wonderful. But we, if you like, have coupled back on this one. About 5 years ago, we wrote a book called The Humming Effect. And it was an award-winning book. It continues to be a best-selling book as well, because it seems that we have found an all-inclusive sound that everybody can really tap into and learn to utilize. It really opens the gateway to sound healing.
Well, and I know, when we decided to write our book, The Humming Effect, we really, our main goal was, how can we get more people involved and educated and understand that if you have a voice, you can work with sound. And of course, so many people are hesitant because they say, well, I'm not a singer or I'm not a musician. And the beauty of working with humming, conscious humming, is that it is a non-judgmental sound. It is a sound that everybody can make.
Right. I don't think we've ever encountered anybody who said, I'm not a good hummer. We've certainly had lots and lots of people say, well, I can't sing, or I can't do this or that. And, for a lot of people, even making any sort of sound with other people is terrifying, except for the hum, because the hum is babies hum.
The elderly hum.
We hum when we're feeling good unconsciously, but here we're dealing with conscious humming. And there is a difference that we're going to talk about in a minute. But first of all, we want to tell you about really why, some aspects of why the hum is so very, very important. And one of the things that we will say is that when we first wrote The Humming Effect, we're going, well, here we go with the first professionally published book solely dedicated to humming. How are people going to take this seriously?
So what we did, we took the whole first chapter, and it is nothing but peer-reviewed research and what really happens when we are humming. Now, this is a very easy sound to make. It's a very simple sound to make, but we discovered in our research that there's just layers of information about the hum.
Totally. And, peer review, which literally means either scientific or medical journals that are, if you like, really studied and well respected. This information has been printed, and it's so interesting because in the book also we have some other stuff that has not yet been proven, but we know it is true because, one of the things that
well, let's talk about the physiological.
All right. Yeah.
That's next.
I'm jumping.
So with our research, what we discovered is that when we are humming, there are physiological benefits that are occurring in your body physically as we are humming. Our blood pressure is lowered. Our heart rate, our respiration slows down. Melatonin is released. And of course, that is our sleep cycle hormone. And we also release the hormone oxytocin, which is the trust hormone. And, we feel really good when we are humming. And that oxytocin is
endorphin, the self-created,
exactly.
If you like, pain relief is generated there.
And also a molecule, a very, very important molecule, is also emitted and released when we're humming, and that is nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, Jonathan, why don't you talk about that?
Nitric oxide, which has become a lot of you may have heard about nitric oxide or know about it because it's being now promoted in a lot of different health supplements. And one of the reasons why nitric oxide is so important is that it is a vasodilator, which simply means that it loosens and widens up our circulatory system, so allowing oxygen and all sorts of other wonderful things to flow through our veins and blood cells, et cetera, et cetera. So this is just a great thing that it is a vasodilator. Very, very cool for brain activity, for heart activity. Another thing that is very, very important about nitric oxide is that we found, and this is what I was starting to say before, we found that it is an antiviral agent. And I used to teach this as a sound. I said, well, we call it sonic dristan, which was a decongestant, just knowing that making the sound would open up your sinus cavity. And then the Karolinska Institute in Sweden, which has produced a lot of Nobel Prize winning beings, did research showing that indeed, when you hum and you do what is essentially conscious humming, you basically generate 15 times the amount of nitric oxide that is normally created, which is about the same amount as when it's used as a pharmaceutical antiviral agent. So that is very, very cool.
Well, it also activates the vagus nerve,
Yeah.
which is the sort of control panel nerve of our whole bodies,
Right.
with the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. So the vagus nerve gets activated, which really helps us to relax
Totally.
and to release stress, etc. The other thing that humming does, it goes directly into the body. And this is called vibro-acoustic sound. And what we have discovered is that humming truly is the most powerful vibro-acoustic sound that we can make because it goes into our bodies at a deep cellular level.
Mhm. And just as a note, there are two ways sound affects us. One is vibroacoustics, going into a cellular level, working, vibrating us, giving us, if you like, a sonic massage. And the other, it's called psychoacoustics, going into our ear, into our brain, and into our nervous system. And they're both very, very cool. But particularly for the most powerful vibroacoustic sound, there's humming. And interestingly enough, also, humming is an incredibly sacred spiritual tool. In the Yoga Sutras written thousands of years ago by Patanjali's, Sutra 1.27 basically says the original sound of creation was pranava or pranava, the humming of prana, the humming of prana, the humming of energy, and they had to give it a name. So they called it Om. Yeah.
And of course, when we are humming, as simple and easy as it sounds, we do have protocols that are helpful when we are really learning to consciously hum.
Right. And just as a note to it being a sacred sound and being one of the original sounds of creation, it is also an incredible sound for manifestation. Because if the hum helped manifest the universe, what can it be done?
Yeah.
Okay, back to the protocols.
Back to the protocols. So when we are consciously humming, one of the very first things that we want to do is focus on our breathing. We want to take nice, deep, diaphragmatic breaths. We call that belly breathing. And taking those nice, deep breaths, that breathing in and then releasing, that's when we start to hum. So it's really important to breathe.
And just as a note, in terms of the vagus nerve, they've found that there are two conscious things, actions that we can take that will create greater, it's called vagal toning, which means that the vagus nerve is more active. And once again, when you're working with the parasympathetic nervous system, you want it to be active and have heart rate variability is another aspect of it. But one of the things is deep breathing to, if you like, activate the vagus nerve. And the other thing is humming. So deep breathing and then humming as part of the protocols is just, it's a wonderful combination.
Well, I mean, you can see even just in this short period of time that we've been talking about conscious humming, all of the different benefits that we do receive in our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. And of course, breathing's important. Another protocol is the tone. You want to stay in your comfort zone, and you want to have your hum, the tone of your hum, really be comfortable. And we have found that the speaking conversational voice is often a place where when we're humming, that's where it feels the best.
Well, you know, it's really interesting. First of all, we suggest that you just tone one note and don't go all over the place like doing zippity-doo-dah or whatnot. Those are all great if you're having a good time, but if you're trying to tone to create a maximum vibration, you want to tone on one note. And once again, as Andy was saying, you want to tone in your comfort zone. You want to tone in your comfort zone.
Well, and I want to say that louder is not better, more is not better, but what is really great is to stay in that place of comfort, because you really want to utilize this healing modality to release stress and to bring yourself into balance, which are things that happen.
A lot of people, as they get into sound, really want to go, well, I want to find my note. And they'll either go to somebody else, say, find my note for me. Let's use some fancy instrumentation or whatnot, or you're able to determine it. Well, I like to suggest, my friends, that we can determine it, because most of the time, the note that is our primary fundamental note or frequency is usually within our speaking voice. And our humming is usually within our speaking voice. It's comfortable or whatnot. Now we can create harmonics or multiple frequencies of that fundamental tone, but it's usually right around there as our fundamental frequency.
Right, right. And now another protocol is after we have spent time humming and, done several minutes or however long you are going to hum, we then want to be in silence. And I know that being in silence is really one of those concepts that is sort of antithetical in a way to sound,
Right.
But really it is the yin to the yang. And it is in the silence that the shifts and changes occur. So being in silence after you have hummed is really important. And it is also that time too, Jonathan, that I found that when I'm quiet, that I really begin to listen within.
Totally. It's silence. We oftentimes suggest that if you're making sound for a certain amount of time, that you be in an equal amount of time in silence, so that the sound can literally create the shift and change necessary on either a cellular level or on a spiritual level, an emotional level, a etheric level, a biofield level, whatever level you're working on. And don't forget that sound works on many levels at once. If you're affecting the physical body, the odds are you're also affecting the etheric body. The odds are all these other things are occurring simultaneously.
Yeah. And also when we are silent, after we listen, the word listen and silent are anagrams. They have the exact same letters. And so it's really interesting that it is in the silence that we really are able to hear at deeper levels.
Almost forgot. Not gonna though. So we were talking about the hum being the most powerful vibro-acoustic sound. And that is, this is a phenomena. We have to admit that we were watching a little portion of Jimmy Fallon a couple of
that's right.
nights ago, and he had this thing, things that people don't know. And one of them was, and what you don't know is that if you pinch your nose, you can't hum. And this is something that's totally true. And why is that? Because if you're doing proper humming, you need to have your lips closed. That's the only, if you like, not the only, but it's one of the major aspects of the protocols, is that you're not only not moving all around by, humming zippity-doo-dah, but you're doing it with your mouth closed. If I go ma, then the sound is coming out. The word ma came out on that, but you can see you need to have your lips closed when we are humming.
And it was actually hilarious when we were watching the program, Jimmy Fallon, and he had his audience hum and then pinch their nose. And of course, we thought that was great.
Because that's something we oftentimes do when we're teaching a workshop or about humming, is the fact that, hey, if you didn't know that when you pinch your nose, you can't hum, then perhaps there are other aspects of the power of the hum that we can share with you.
So in a brief moment, what we're going to be doing is guiding you through an actual exercise where you will be able to hum and feel the benefits of even a short humming practice. But Jonathan, before we do that, I'm wondering if we want to just give a brief demonstration.
Totally, my dear, but I would just want to preface this with saying that this particular experience, we'll be humming about 5 times, I think. This one is just for you to feel the initial vibratory, if you like, effects of the hum, because a lot of people have never done that. Conscious humming is sort of a new activity for a lot of people. So if you just hum on one thing, just experience the vibrations. Where are you feeling the vibrations, and what are the vibrations doing? Because another aspect we'll talk a little bit more about is the fact that when you get to that level of first feeling the vibrations, you want to become a little bit adept at doing that. Then the next level is to add some sort of intentionality. But first, we're just going to be experiencing the vibrational levels. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to remember I'm doing the magic click on Zoom over here, and we've now done the original sound for musicians is on, which allows me to hum without Zoom confusing it with a sound and cutting off the hum after about 4 seconds. I can hum for as long as I want now, and you can hear it.
And that is a nifty little thing to know about Zoom. Right. So the hum will not be cut off. So Jonathan, would you like to demonstrate for our audience?
I would love to do that.
Okay. So let's just have you close your eyes. Sit up nice and straight.
Oh, let's just go over
the protocols again. Right. Okay, for sure. So starting out with your mouth is closed, of course, and we're going to breathe diaphragmatically, take those nice deep belly breaths. We're going to keep a tone that is comfortable. We're going to stay in our comfort zone, and then at the end of humming, we want to be in silence. Now, Jonathan is going to demonstrate this, and so we won't be in silence for too terribly long.
And once again, also just holding on one tone.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Jonathan, you want to close your eyes, sit up nice and straight, and now take a nice, deep, diaphragmatic belly breath, breathing in, and now on the out breath, you're going to hum. So, breathing in and hum.
Okay.
And you can see that his lips were closed, and we're going to guide you now through a similar process. Only what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a series of 5 hums. Before we start, we want you to just, in this moment, just kind of check yourself out and see how you're feeling. Do you have any stress in any part of your body or anxiety? But just how are you doing right now? And just close your eyes and just go within and check yourself out. And now we're taking some nice deep breaths. First of all, we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and let it out and release anything in this moment that is not serving you. And just take another breath, and this time release it with a sigh. And feeling your body even beginning to relax a little bit. And now we are going to actually go into the official exercise. So
5 hums.
5 hums. Here we go. Ready? Breathing in, nice deep breath. Breathing in and hum. A nice deep breath, breathing in and hum. Breathing in and hum. Nice deep breath, breathing in and hum. And one more time. Nice deep breath, breathing in and hum. And now we'll be in silence for just a few moments, allowing the shifts and changes to occur.
Checking yourself out. And once again, when normally we do a humming practice, and we would like to suggest that humming is something that you can do every day. We like to hum for about 5 minutes a day, and humming like sound. Sound is a cumulative experience. So the more you do it, the more powerful and the more effective the hum will be.
And of course, we, wish that we could talk to everyone right now and find out how you experience this hum. But I know just for myself, I love humming because it really helps me reduce my stress levels, and it brings me into an emotional balance that I'm really appreciating. And so, of course, we do hum every day.
I feel like blissed out and just very relaxed. A lot of people feel grounded, all sorts of different positive experiences. So we would like to, suggest that, humming is just, yes, here, get a copy of this if you don't have it.
And in our book, The Humming Effect, we have all of this information, and we also have different levels of exercises that you can do. And so it is chocked full of information.
And it's really good. And each new chapter takes you to deeper and deeper places with the hum. It's really, really powerful. As our son Joshua, when we first wrote it, said, well, the simplest sound is the most profound. And we also want to suggest that one of the things which we talk about in the book and practice, etc., is adding intentionality onto the sound. So do you want to use it to basically clear up a headache? You can do that. Do you want to use it to take care of something in your chest or stomach or something like that? You can do that too, with just shifting your tone that you're making a little bit. but mostly focusing your intention. The hum is a great sound because it's an all-encompassing sound that really, has so many different harmonics and sounds within the hum. So let's hear it for the hum now.
And who knew that the sound of the hum could be so beneficial and so helpful to all of us.
Yeah.
So we hope that you enjoyed that exercise. And later on in our program tonight, we're going to be doing a guided global sound meditation where we're going to be humming for global planetary peace.
So the
and
intention
healing.
of that is going to be different. And this is all just, indeed, my dear.
Yes, my dear.
I find that humming is a great tool for keeping me in balance.
Okay. And you've just said the magic word. Okay, it's time for the astrological assessment that we wanted to talk about tonight. And balance is the magic word because today is the Spring Equinox. It is the Vernal Equinox, and it occurred in the Northern Hemisphere today. Here in Colorado, it occurred at 3:24 this afternoon, and so depending on what time zone you were in the East Coast, that would have been around 5:24, and Pacific time would have been 2:24. But at any rate, it is happening as we speak right now. And it is a time of balance. It is a time where we have equal day and night. We have the light is beginning now to take over the darkness. And the equinox is really a turning point. And it's when the daylight begins to take over the darkness. And I think it's interesting because when we tune in to the rhythms of nature, the rhythms of nature, if we really are paying attention, can be extremely helpful and present opportunities for growth. I know we just came out of the winter solstice where the darkness was overcoming the light, and we went internally, we went inside. Now, the spring equinox, the vernal equinox, is coming in, and it is bringing us opportunities to shine, to have that light begin to really open things up. And often I think that when the darkness begins to diminish and the light increases, we do begin to feel that lifting of the fog, so to speak. And we begin to feel more life force and more creative energy on this spring vernal equinox. And Jonathan, what did you find out the actual meaning of vernal is? You just did that
Vernal
earlier.
means fresh, anew, springtime. So it's, because I said, wow, the vernal equinox, what does that mean?
Right. Well, and and Mother Nature shows us that, spring is here. The flowers are beginning to blossom, and there's this freshness in life that happens. And it's so interesting because it begs the question for all of us. Wait, how can I freshen up my life? How can I begin to blossom? What can I do to have my life really renewed and refreshed? And of course, setting new intentions. Always excellent at the equinox because it is a time of new beginning. And it's a time, if you're starting a new project, or it's just overall a time to really feel that newness. And how do you want that to happen in your own life? It just gives you a moment to really think about that. And now this equinox, it's always a powerful time. The nature really presents us with powerful portals of energy at these equinoxes and solstices. This particular vernal equinox is even more powerful because just in a few hours we will have a new moon. And that new moon is going to be happening around 10 o'clock Tuesday morning in the, mountain time zone. But the interesting thing that the new moon is at 0 degrees of Aries. The equinox is at 0 degrees of Aries. That is the very beginning of the astrological new year, if you will, the beginning of the zodiac. And that Aries energy is potent energy for really movement and energizing. So it's an especially very, very excellent time, very potent time to set new intentions. And I just want to encourage, as you're thinking about those new intentions, to really keep that high consciousness, that frequency of love, that frequency of positivity and those thoughts. Keep that high consciousness energy. Really, now is the time, and let's move into this new time, this new energy with the highest level of intentions. And Jonathan, I think that that is really about all I'd like to say, because I know we are going to be going inside each, we're all going to go inside and we're going to come up with our own intentions when we get ready to do our global.
I think that is the
yeah.
big thing. We're going to be doing the global hum in a minute. Of course, with this one, we, as with all our planetary sounding techniques, we first begin with this wonderful guided meditation that incorporates heart-brain coherence. Heart-brain coherence creates then our amplified electromagnetic field. And then after this is created, we couple that with making a sacred sound. And this is all found within the guided meditation, the recorded video that we're going to be taking part in. And we want you, number one, to take part in it, hum along with us.
And it's going to give everyone another opportunity to really begin to hum, because after we guide you through the heart-brain coherence, we will then do a series of hums, and we do want you to hum along with us.
And also, let's just take a moment right before we do this, Garth. Get ready. We're going to go in a minute, but first, let's just begin to take a couple of deep breaths and really think about what we want to manifest for this new energy of the vernal equinox, personally and planetarily, for the betterment of all. So let's take a breath and do that.
How do you want to blossom?
And Garth, shall we begin?
The purpose for this meditation is to project a sound encoded with the energies of light and love, and project healing to the Gaia matrix, our beloved planet Earth. We will first create coherence between our heart and our brain. This effect will further be amplified by the power of the hum that you will be toning along with later, bringing more light and love into your body, mind, and spirit for health and wellness. And now, begin to focus on your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly breathing in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, imagine or visualize that you're breathing in and out through your heart. As you're breathing in and out through the area of your heart, remembering that it is love that breathes each breath, and it is love that causes each beat of our heart. Continue breathing slowly, breathing in and out in this manner. And now, I'd like you to call to mind something that has brought you a great deal of appreciation, gratitude, something that you are feeling very good about. This might be an experience with another person. Perhaps it's a beautiful sunset. It may be a beloved pet, a spouse. But it is something that has brought you loving kindness and gratitude and appreciation. And as you're breathing in and out through your heart, feeling this appreciation, feeling this gratitude, you're creating a beautiful coherence between your heart and your brain. And your heart, through this coherence, is expanding, getting larger and larger, and connecting with all the heart and loving energy on our planet in this moment. This is just a wonderful way of creating a very powerful heart activation, and you'll be amplifying this with the sound of the hum. Continue breathing slowly and deeply while feeling appreciation and gratitude, and imagining your breath going in and out through your heart. Now, visualize this energy and begin to sense a radiant light around you that is permeating every cell of your body and resonating your heart chakra. In a moment, we'll begin to gently sound forth with the power of the hum. And as you do this, visualize the planet Earth as a holographic image floating in front of you. Imagine bathing the Earth in a healing field of light and love that you are creating through your sacred sound. Now, let us begin to make the heart sound of the hum, bringing the energy of global harmonization, peace and healing to our beloved planet, Earth. Now, being in silence, visualizing all the light and love through sound that you have manifested, resonating and bringing to earth and yourself to a deep state of healing. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and know that you have contributed to personal and planetary healing. Welcome back.
It's sometimes hard to get grounded, if you like, when we do that exercise. It's very powerful, and just each time we do it is new and different on this vernal equinox. It was fabulous for me. How was it for you?
Lovely. Just very centered, and yeah, I feel quite calm.
And we trust that for all of you. You had a really lovely experience with that. So thank you.
Oh, so we will come back now into this space.
It is question and answer time.
And there is, I think we have a question, but do you have it over there, Jonathan?
Let's see.
Have it here?
Do you know what it is?
Let's see. I think it is.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's over there. Thank you. Okay, and this is a question that came in from Joan, and she's from Cincinnati. And Jonathan, her question to you is, what is the best use of the hum? How can we best utilize the hum? What's the best purpose of the hum?
It's so interesting. So the hum, great question, as always. The hum is one of those sounds that is all-encompassing, all-inclusive, and I like to say that whatever you need to use the hum for, that's the best one. If you want to use it to balance your chakras, you can actually balance each and every one of your chakras with a hum. Or you can use it to generate, as I was mentioning before, if you got a headache, or if you're using it for to generate nitric oxide, that's going to happen anyway. But if you go in there to try to free up your nasal cavities even more, that'll make it more effective. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful vehicle. So I don't perceive that there is any one great use or concept. I'm going to tell you a story before I go further, which is just that I was from, many, many years ago, probably close to 30 years ago. I was at a party in Hollywood, California, and there was a party that was being given for myself and a man by the name of Dr. John Lilly. Some of you may know of him because he was a great medical doctor who did incredible work in terms of consciousness and also in terms of dolphin consciousness and dolphin awareness. So that there are actually two movies that were made about his work. One was called Day of the Dolphins. Some of you may remember. Another one called Altered States. because John Lee was very big into working with altered states. And he and I are sitting out on this lanai that the party was going on. We're both sort of taking a breather. And he's sitting there very quietly by himself, just humming. He's humming to himself, just as we've been doing. And I intuitively, instinctively I talked to him a little bit about this, but I instinctively got that basically what was happening was that he had achieved a certain state of consciousness with all his consciousness enhancing tools, and that he was keeping this going and maybe assisting it using humming as a vibro-acoustic neurological phenomena, which I thought was really cool. And this was probably one of the major things that sort of lodged in my psyche. And then many years later, it was like, hey, it's time to bring humming out to the public. And I wanted to share that story with you because I think he knew something that I'm only beginning to become aware of, which is the power of the hum. And in terms of, okay, what is the best thing that you can encode upon the hum? Well, whatever you need, but we're going to basically bring our dear, beloved friend and angelic being teacher, Sarah Benson, who we call the godmother of sound healing. And she said that the true sound of healing is love. So once again, really, when you're generating love and appreciation, gratitude, compassion, any of these things, that's on a level for us always the best. And it always feels like the sound then goes where it wants to go and does what it wants to do. Andi?
Well, when I think about, what is the purpose, what would be a purpose or the best use of the hum? And I have to just say that as a holistic psychotherapist, what I like so much about the hum is that you get to be your own therapist. And when you're feeling anxiety, you're stressed out, you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, all of those emotions that really get in the way of being able to, feel good and move forward, you can start to hum. You can take those nice deep breaths and you can begin to hum. And in a relatively short period of time, that humming will, as we talked about the different physiological benefits, that's going to lessen those stress levels. And that's going to help you to get back into balance. And so I always like to say utilize the hum as, a tool to be your own therapist and know when you are needing to shift and change your consciousness and to get out of a really stressful situation, just start to hum. You can hum anywhere.
Totally. Powerful, powerful. I'm sort of blissed out, and it's hard for me to kind of, and which I like. I really appreciate this. One of the things that happens when you hum like this is that your blood pressure drops down to pharmaceutical levels, and really it chills you out in a way that is quite amazing. So I'm still blissed out, but I'm trying to remember we have another Sound Satsang coming up in April, and
that's going to be April 20th, I believe.
It's Thursday, April 20th?
Right. And it's going to be
7:30, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
7:30. Okay.
And so, Jonathan, we are coming to a closure now of our satsang tonight. And I want to once again just thank everyone who has joined us tonight. And we hope that on this equinox energy, that it is a new beginning for you and that you've gleaned some pearls of wisdom for yourselves that can open up new avenues of growth for you. So thank you all for being here. And of course, once again, Humanity's team producing this, we are so grateful. And the Sound Healers Association. If you're at all guided to become a member, do soundhealersassociation.org. Nasiri is our manager and delighted to get you registered and answer any of your questions. And so lots of networking that can happen
Right.
with the Sound Healers.
And if you've got a question, send it to info@healingsounds.com. That's the way a lot of the questions come to me, is through info@healingsounds.com. Very cool. All right, listen, dear Sound Satsang brothers and sisters of light and love through sound. We are going to thank you again and call it a night.
And just send everyone many, many blessings of love and light through sound.
The greatest of vernal equinox blessings to everyone. Thank you again.
And happy humming to everyone.
And happy humming to everyone.
Until next time, bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Lots of love.